Hi, I'm Dewey Hollister, the Executive Director of the St. George Village Botanical Garden, the Botanical Garden of the Virgin Islands. And as you can see, I actually have that on my shirt today. Anyway, I want to welcome you to our store at the Botanical Garden. And you can see there's nobody here but me. And I just thought today we would talk about, just very briefly, what it's been like to be here at the Botanical Garden under basically lockdown with the COVID-19 virus situation. So obviously, like many of you, we are unfortunately not able to do business with the public right now. So not only is the garden closed to the public, but of course our store is as well. And all we can do is just work on things here behind the gates without the public here. And of course we can only have those employees here where they can work safely by socially distancing. So out on the grounds it's not a problem. Being here in the store, we can't do really too much in here. So what I do is every day when I come in, I turn on the fans, and I may turn on the air conditioners occasionally, and that keeps the air flowing. I mean, because you can think about it, when you have a place locked up, things can go bad. You can get mold, mildew, so practical things like that. While the public's not here, we have to make sure that we don't go backwards and get worse while we're closed down. Next, I want to show you my office because obviously I spend a lot of time there. And now we're in my office. This is where I spend a lot of my time. This is adjacent to the store, so there's really nobody coming in here. So it allows me to work here most of the time as normal because the public's not here. Our staff is not coming in here particularly. So that's rather been nice that I've been able to concentrate a lot on things that maybe I would have been too distracted to work on. So trying to make all the paperwork go away and all those kinds of things. So trying to use my time a little more effectively, trying to get some of those things out of the way before we open up again. So again, doing as much as we can behind the scenes. Let me take you out though and show you a few new things that we're trying to do, or at least maintenance that we're trying to do to make things better. All right, now we're out actually into the main entry of the Botanical Garden. This is what would greet you when you get here. And up until this point, we've had collections of potted plants in these spaces. And that's been good and it's been bad. The bad part is it's not as wonderful an entry as I'd love. And those potted plants are very difficult to take care of. Lots of water, lots of fertilizer. They get heat stressed because they're pots sitting on concrete. So we thought, well, if it didn't cost too much, let's go ahead and try to improve this situation. So what you can see happening right here is the construction of 2 new planters to take the place of the individual pots. So you can see they're a nice wooden planter. We haven't filled it up yet, but it's got great bench seats on it. And if you swing over that way, you'll be able to see that the bench over there looks very much the same. And so you can imagine all this dirt in here, the plants will stay nice and moist, and they'll be much lusher than what we had here before, as well as easier to keep. And we have these great bench seats now for visitors, so we have a lot more seating when you come back to the garden. So we're trying to do good things while we're locked down, things that we wouldn't be able to do with the public coming through light construction like this. This is Marley, our garden dog, and Marley and also our garden cat, Mama Cat, need a lot of loving right now because they are missing you. They love the public, and so when people come in, a lot of times they'll go on the tours and they get a little depressed when it's just us. So we try to give them as much attention as we can. Let me show you in here what we're doing in the next. Well, here we are inside the visitor center, and this is inside our pavilion. And we used this opportunity, we had some painting to do. I mean, it's probably like everybody. When you're at home, when you're locked in, you're thinking, well, what could I do? I have some deferred maintenance. And again, painting is one of those things that you would just rather not do when the public is here. You don't want anybody to get dripped on with paint, and you don't want drop cloths around and those kinds of things. So around us, you can see the beautiful doors that were constructed. Now look at this. I have to show you this right here. Do you see that some doves have moved into our pavilion since people haven't been here? And I think all of you probably noticed that nature is taking areas back without a lot of people. So they decide to nest up there, which we will have to discourage as time goes on, gently, making them move on. But as I was starting to say, our beautiful doors here, most of these survived the hurricanes of 2017, but the set over on this side did not. So you can see the panels that are behind me We had to reconstruct these and we made them a little bit different than the other doors that you just saw. And we painted them, but what we realized was that we had only primed them and they really needed more coats of paint. So we're doing that right now. We also needed some new paint in our bathrooms down the hall, and we're doing that right now. So again, just some deferred maintenance and things that we maybe didn't even realize we needed to do, we're doing right now. So this will be much nicer for you when you get here. And now I think let's go out into the garden and see a few garden things that we've been up to while you've been gone. Well, now we're out in the garden. Right now we're in the Bromeliad and Orchid Garden, which is inside the historic remains of our sugarcane factory. And I just want to show you that unfortunately, even though you're not here, the plants, they don't really care that people are here or not, and they keep doing what they do. Obviously, that means we have to keep pruning and mowing and watering, but it also means that beautiful things, unfortunately, are happening when you're not here to see them. So we have some beautiful orchids that are in flower right now, and you can see them here and here on top of the walls. And I just thought I'd give you a quick little look, just because by the time the public gets back here, these things will probably be stopped, but new and other orchids will probably be in flower. There's always something blooming. So I just thought I'd take a quick stop and show you the flowers that are going on while you're not here. Welcome to our nursery. This is another area that, of course, like I was describing to you before, people or no people, the plants still demand to be watered, fertilized, weeded. This particular area of the nursery right now is involved in a tree project where we're giving away trees to people on the island to recover from the hurricanes we had in 2017. But lots of care still has to happen. So obviously behind the scenes, the normal maintenance of these plants continues on. And you know that from your own gardens. It doesn't matter whether people are locked down, things still have to be taken care of. But I did want to give you a little peek back here. And now we're standing in front of the coral fountain. It's off right now, of course, because the public's not here. We do turn it on periodically just to keep the plants in the middle green. But this particular fountain, we've been putting plants in it, and some have done well and some haven't. So we use this period of time when the public isn't here to try to solve a few horticultural problems. And the issue really was with our friends here. We have 3 red mangrove trees that we're trying to grow in here, and eventually they'll be nice big dome-shaped trees, big spidery roots, and we can really talk about, when we have school groups, the idea of coral and the ocean and the land as they meet together where mangroves live, and all about those habitats. But what happened was we had these a little bit deeper in the water. They were not happy. So now we've experimented, since people are not here in the garden, by repotting them and putting them in pots that are higher up out of the water. And that has definitely helped. They've perked up in the last couple of weeks. So again, we can try some things when the public isn't here just to see if it works a little bit better. The water lilies are very happy. I had put those in there as a temporary measure to make it pretty while we're waiting for the mangroves to grow. And they are absolutely thrilled. But the mangroves were not. So I'm happy to say this experiment seems to be working. So when the public comes back in, they're going to see a lot happier plants. All right, now we are right next to Mint Gut. Mint Gut is a stream, a dry stream that goes through the garden. Sometimes it's not dry. Gut is actually a word that means dry stream. And here in the Virgin Islands, that's what you'll hear it referred to. I wanted to show you this spot because we've not been idle on the grounds. You've seen things we've been doing in certain projects, but out here in the gardens themselves, this was an area that was filled with debris from the hurricane. In 2017, we hadn't gotten everything cleared out of here. We had gotten trails clear, but we hadn't gotten this area cleared. And it was overgrown with vines all over the debris. So now, as you can see around me, it's clear, it's open, the good plants are exposed. And this is going on all around the grounds again. Not all of this would be something we could do easily when the public is here because it involves a lot of chainsaws and chipping and dragging. And we don't want people to have to experience the closing of paths or chainsaws or all that sort of thing while they're here visiting. One of the trees I want to show you we uncovered is this lovely grove of ant trees from the northern South America, the Guianas, that area. These are the trees that have these very segmented trunks and have these lovely sort of droopy big leaves. We had a very large one that fell across the gut and was killed in the Hurricane Maria, but These seedlings were here and they're going to grow on and make a lovely grove of ant tree. The name ant tree, incidentally, comes from the fact that they are oftentimes in their homeland filled with biting ants. So something to keep in mind if you find yourself in the Guianas at some point. Botanically, they're called tripillaris, beautiful white flowers, followed by red calyx. And the red calyx almost make it look like it's gone from white flowers to red flowers. So it's a very spectacular tree. Very glad that there are a lot of them in here. Glad that we were finally able to get this area cleaned out, which I absolutely love. So I just wanted to give you a little flavor today of what it's been like with the COVID-19 shutdowns and when we've been locked down, what we've been doing. But I also want to just show you that we're trying to get ready for you when you get back here in the garden. So wherever you are, I hope you've been safe. I hope this period of time you've stayed healthy, and we so look forward to having you back here to the Botanical Garden of the Virgin Islands, and I'll see you next time.